We still got more than 2 months to get your taxes filed and send them in. Probably safe to say you're not giddy about crunching numbers and everything else that comes with filing. Experts say it can take up to 13 hours on average to get everything done. Probably feels a lot longer than that sometimes, but maybe there's an easier way. Iowa's News Now reporter Kaylee Whitlatch in studio with a less taxing way to handle taxes, maybe.
That's right, Mitch. Americans will spend more than $30 billion on their tax returns this year, but a local accounting professor tells me taxes can be done a lot quicker and cheaper, and more than 40 other countries are already using systems that do most of the filing work.
I think for a lot of Americans, especially younger Americans, it sure would be nice to have this kind of pre-filed system. It would save a lot of stress and anxiety.
UI-Tippy Business College professor Ryan Wilson says the government already has access to some of the info needed to fill out your tax forms, like details from employers and from banks.
A lot of us probably don't need to go through this process because the government has all the information they need from third parties to complete the return for us.
Wilson says the U.S. could use a process where an individual's tax forms are automatically filled out by the government and taxpayers can change or make additions before submitting them. He says the U.S. has considered a pre-filing system before, once under Reagan and again a couple decades later under the Bush administration, while repeated attempts over the years to pass a tax simplification bill have failed. The IRS does have a direct e-file program in place for 12 states, but ultimately, he says the U.S. could take notes from other countries.
I think in the Scandinavian countries, you even get an alert via text message, which would be really nice, and you can just approve the return that way.
Wilson says part of the problem is the pushback from the software developers that currently help people complete their tax returns, lobbying against the concept of a free filing system that would topple a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I think there's also some distrust of government, and there's legitimate concerns. I mean, it would take a significant investment on the part of the IRS to put the systems in place to be able to do this. Taxpayers are less likely to correct information on a pre-filed return than if they have to put it together themselves, and that's a legitimate concern. I still think the benefits outweigh those concerns, and I would hope that over the next decade or so we move in that direction.
This year, the deadline to file personal tax returns or pay any taxes that are owed is April 15th. Live in studio, Kaylee Whitlatch, Iowa's News Now.